Hey guys, welcome to another one of our videos. Today we're going to be talking to you about how to diagnose a P0420 and P0430 diagnostic code on a 2009 Toyota Sienna minivan. Subscribe to our channel today.
Hey everybody, so I'm going to be discussing the P0420 and the P0430, which is basically a front O2 sensor and basically a back O2 sensor. It's giving you a difference. Anyway, it's an emission code. You probably were driving down the road, your check engine light came on, the VSC as well as traction off came on. Those are just safety overrides, so that's why those two came on, so don't sweat it. Now, the reason I'm doing the video is, I see it all the time, is people get the 420 or 430. This particular van has a 430 code, and what actually the person was told that owns this vehicle is, hey, you know what you need? You need to go get a $2,000 catalytic converter job done on this vehicle. Well, I don't know about you, and maybe you're just one of those kind of people that you don't care and you'll just spend the money, but this is for the person who needs to try to figure out a different way to maybe diagnose the problem affordably, and that's kind of where I'm coming at with this. Okay, so the first thing you need to understand is the reason this P0430 code come on isn't because it has a bad catalytic converter. That's the result of something that has happened in the front of the vehicle, in the emission system. And what I'm getting ready to tell you is, these are some basic things you can check that should erase the code. Now, you can erase any code on a vehicle by simply taking off the negative battery, turning the headlights on so it drains out anything, for a few minutes. Give it 15 just to be safe. And after that, your code will be clear. The problem with doing it that way and not using a scan tool is you don't want to get rid of all the fuel trim data that's built up to that may give you a glimpse of what's going on. But I'm going to assume for 1 minute that you're not a ASE certified mechanic and you're just a guy that just are looking at spending $2,000 to $3,000 on a car that is nothing wrong with as far as you can tell, and you're probably trying to be compliant with emissions, and it's probably just bugging the nuts out of you. So let me tell you the first culprit I would check. The very first thing that happens is the negative cable. You need to check the ground on that. Take it off, completely clean it. Make sure that back here on the back side here is clean as well. See, what a bad ground does, it causes the volts to be off on the ECU. So when it happens that way, you may get a false trigger. So a lot of times, more often than not, if you have a little bit of corrosion on this negative cable, corrosion means that you have a low cell inside of your battery, which can disrupt the electrical system of the car, period. And that applies to any vehicle on planet Earth. So first things first, check your ground. The next thing that can interrupt emission systems is airflow. So this is a big deal and not that hard to take care of, but let's just talk about it for a second. On this particular vehicle, you would just remove a couple 10 millimeters bolts right here and pull them out and take your air cleaner, put a new one in. If it looks like it's a little old, if it's been several years since you've done it, just put a new air cleaner in. You would be so surprised at the fuel trim cutbacks and forwardness that happens when you have a clogged air filter. This can cause a P0420 or P0430 code. So start with the air filter. Moving up from there, if you notice right here in the center, this right here is your massive airflow sensor. So mass airflow. Now, very simple to do. You just unscrew the vents or the hoses that go to it. Get you some electronics cleaner. They sell it at any auto parts store for $5. Clean that sensor, because that sensor, if it gums up a little bit, maybe it's reporting into the less than a volt, or it should run between 3 and 5, but it may be just reporting like 1 point something because it's dirty. So we're looking for air leaks first, then the MAF. So we're going to clean the MAF, put it back in, because it can definitely interfere with the airflow in the system. Now, the next thing that I would check, and all these things are very inexpensive and you can do yourself, and that's kind of what this video is based on. How can you help yourself? Now, the next thing that I would do personally is you want to check on the PCV system on this vehicle. And that would be the crankcase ventilation. And as you see it right here, it is on this particular one, and it just screws out. Now guys, let me tell you what happens. The PCV has two systems in it, one at idle and one at what they call WOT, wide open throttle. Regardless of whichever one it is, this particular valve, if it becomes dirty or sticks, basically it's going to let too much air or restrict. It's either going to keep too much emissions in, or it's going to let too much fresh air out, or vice versa. So, for the $14 I think it cost on this one, which happened to be what the problem on this particular car was, for the $14 it costs to fix, definitely before you spend a dime on anything else, replace the PCV right here. Now, the next thing that can possibly cause this code, it's not likely, but it's a possibility, is you could have, you can see these right here have all coilovers. On the every cylinder has its own coil. So basically, it's a system that basically just requires you to change the spark plugs. So I would definitely consider changing the spark plugs in your car. Now, those issues right there, right off the bat, before you even pay a mechanic, those are some of the things I would do immediately. Now, to get a little deeper into this, like on this 430 code, you can actually take out the rear O2 sensor, clean it, because it does get a little dirty and it causes it to lag a little bit, and it causes it, instead of staying at about a steady 250, it might cause it to jump, or it might cause it to be just a little erratic. So you can clean the O2 sensor as well. That's a little more advanced than this video is really going to get into. But guys, I hope that helps you out. That's just a few basic things you can do. Check for an air leak, check for grounds, clean your MAF, put a PCV in, put you a set of plugs in. Just kind of do a basic overall. Make sure nothing's adding air or taking away air that shouldn't be, and that all your cylinders are firing like they should be. Alright, well, good luck with that, and please subscribe, and I'm going to keep putting these videos out, and if y'all have something you want me to talk about, please just let me know. I'm going to be glad to give you my opinion for whatever that's worth. Alright, thank you very much.